So I've been coming across some people's situations where they still want to dabble in the remedies world, and not everybody earns the pain-free life. Some of you are a mess. Some of you have so many predispositions. So many of you do. And I'm sorry that you have your predispositions. I'm sorry, it sucks. I went through so many different so many different issues while I was on the J juice. And I had the luxury of different healing groups where they recommended different herbal remedies and antibiotics, but remember, those are rest in peace. It really, I guess it could say it helped me on some level, but not really. It was like a fallacy. It really didn't help me. It was just prolonging the inevitable. But when you don't know when things are going to end and you have to do things, you got to do what you got to do, right? Well, that's fine. You do what you got to do. If you have to go get a remedy, then go see a doctor. If you have to go get something to stop the pain, then go do whatever herbal crap you got to do. But you have to understand that, you know, I don't give medical advice. No one really on Facebook should give anyone medical advice on how to stop pain because that means that you are anesthetizing. You are trying to stop something from evolving. And so, some of you will kind of sneak and ask a question like, what do you do for this or what do you do for that? And then someone inevitably is going to be like, oh, well, you do this and you do that. And they're not really recommending J juice. They're recommending everything else but J juice. And then they're like, oh yeah, and do J juice too at the same time. Well, you know, here's the thing. Rest in peace at the micro level will translate into rest and peace at the macro level. And if your intention is to anesthetize, if your intention is to take anti-inflammatories, if your intention is to take an antimicrobial, an antibiotic, whatever, if your intention is to stop the pain as soon as you can, then you might as well go see a doctor. You don't need to ask anybody in my group for an antibiotic. Okay? You have to earn a pain-free life. And if you don't earn a pain-free life, then you're going to have to deal with it or you see a doctor. And a part of me, I feel bad for those of you that are still dealing with all of your issues, your predispositions, and maybe you're undermining your own journey by always trying to stay in the game. Maybe some of you are trying to stay in the game and you haven't earned staying in the game, and so you're taking all your antibiotics, and then the body still wants to heal and still wants to live, and so you're going to be experiencing pain all the time. And you think doing whatever amount of J juice you're doing is going to help you. Well, I don't know. I don't know what you do in your life. I don't know how many antibiotics you take. You could say, I've been doing a gallon a day and you're still dealing with pain. Okay, well then that's your intention, is to heal. If your intention is not to heal, then you know where you can go. You have plenty of doctors at your disposal. You have plenty of naturopathics that are willing to give you away their remedies because they want to have somebody say that it's a success. I cured somebody. So there's like the naturopathics and all the holistic professionals are a dime a dozen. No one should be turning to anyone holistic in my group. Okay, if you earned pain, like I had say I burned myself because I made some noodle kugel and the crock pot was a little hot, and so my finger brushed up against it and I'm like, ooh, that was hot. So what I do, I just stuck my finger in my J juice, and since it was such a very superficial quick burn, it healed very quickly. But I earned that because it wasn't a deep burn. I didn't have really any systemic issues like arthritis or anything else. So it wasn't like, I had to deal with pain for like the next 10, 15 days. No, it was like a very quick stick my finger in the J juice because I burned myself, and then it healed and no more pain. So yeah, J juice can make you pain free, but you have to earn it. Okay, it's not something that you just like take J juice and think that everything's gonna be better. Oh no, honey. you have destroyed your body for years. So it's going to take months before you see relief in certain areas. And it might take a few weeks. It might take longer or shorter. I can't tell you. That's why we don't recommend any kind of remedies to anybody. That's a doctor's job. Okay. So medical advice is not welcome in my group. Medical advice or anti-inflammatory recommendations are not welcome on my page. Using food as an anti-inflammatory is not appropriate at all in my world. And so, some of you are going to have to bite the bullet and actually deal with your evolution. And some of you will not be able to because you have so many issues and you still want to be in the game. You still want to go and work the long hours, as many hours you can, because you're still trying to compete with yourself or somebody else. Some of you still want to think that you have the entitlement and the right to be out there working your ass off, but you can't do both. You can't serve two masters. Now, you could potentially straddle both worlds, but you're not going to be able to put in the long hours because your body's got to rest. You realize that even with this COVID, I've had to take a few naps with all these different strains. Okay, someone that is working their ass off, for them to be able to get over the hump with with their own predispositions and with the new viruses in the environment, they would have to work their ass off for the week, put boundaries, and then take up like a Friday and drink a shiz ton of J juice and rest. No parties, no social gatherings, no eating foods that are going to undermine your process. Like, you would have to have an intent to work and do J juice, work and do J juice, work. And believe me, that's not fun. I know it's not fun. But if your intent is to still make money and be in the game and heal simultaneously, it means that other things have to take a back seat. That means all your drinking and smoking and doing different drugs and all the things that you like to do in between J juice and your work may have to go to the wayside. It's called priorities. You can't just get the pain-free lifestyle that you're looking for without putting in the time. I'm saying I put in a lot of time in myself because what else am I going to do? I mean, I take care of my dog. I take care of my husband. He's home now every night. So my life is a bit busier, but I've now finally got to a point in my healing process where I've stopped my period. And so any kind of adaptation that I get exposed to from a new virus, the healing process is manageable and it's not even painful. If anything, it's kind of like, oh, okay. With that itching that I had, I didn't even have a headache. I just had itching and just really, really tired. And the hot flashes. That was kind of interesting, but that wasn't painful. That was just like, oh my God, it's so hot. Turning the AC up and turning the AC down, all that stuff. And so, yeah, and then imagine you having kids. And John, I don't know how the hell you do it with you working, labor intensive, and you have a wife and you have kids and you have a dog. But, you manage, you figure it out. You're not really worried about the healing process. You're just recognizing the healing process for what it is. And you appreciate it. And I know not everybody is strong like you. Not everybody is strong like me. Some of you have a longer way to go, but you're going to keep undermining your healing process when you keep trying to find things to anesthetize your evolution. And so, yeah, some of you will give up because you haven't faced the facts, the reality that healing is painful. And that is a fact. Healing is painful. Okay, you can try to juggle all the remedies, but at some point you're going to undermine your healing process. At some point you're going to have to bite the bullet and say, okay, you got to face your evolution. And I'm telling you, this environment is going to force you to either face your evolution or go into the therapeutics and anesthetize yourself because it's become too much work. And I know that reality. So that's why not everyone's going to get the benefit of the J juice. They may say they're on J juice. Oh yeah, a lot of people are on the J juice. But they're not going to get the benefit because they've allowed the rest of their life to take over. And they haven't really put the priority in the J juice. They say they have. Oh, yeah. But what they post in my group and the posts that I delete is kind of telling really where you're at. You still don't get it. So that's why I put, you either earn the pain-free lifestyle in J juice or you go see a doctor. You can't have it both ways. You haven't figured out how to juggle your life to have it both ways because you haven't prioritized your body, mind, and spirit above anything else. I'm telling you, the game is always going to be there. Your job, whatever you're doing, or another job will always be there, or you can create your own job. Some of you are self-employed. You have the ability to modify your own hours. You don't have to work as much as you do, but you choose to. Well, okay, that's going to then come at a price. You know, I mean, that's the thing. So, whatever. But some of you will not get the benefit of the J juice because you're putting everybody else as a priority and you're putting yourself last on the list. And then when you have a major symptom, it's going to take you out. You're going to be now down for the counts, and you're going to be hating life because now you can't help, you can't take care of your kids, you can't go to your job, you haven't realistically set the boundaries on what you can offer your job or your family. You've allowed everyone else to dictate your life, and you haven't dictated your own life. And so, yeah, you're going to have a harder time achieving the pain-free lifestyle because it was never a priority. It was a trend. It was a fad. I understand. But it wasn't really a priority. Oh, I'll tell you, a lot of people talk a good game. Believe me. You know, we all rationalize our positions in life. But in the end, you're going to have to face whatever you put first. And if you put everyone else first, then you're going to have to face your own de-evolution. And then maybe eventually you'll be like, okay, I have to put boundaries down. I have to really prioritize my life to where I'm first. And some of you have the luxury where you don't have kids. You don't have animals. You don't have a significant other. You just have yourself and your unemployment check or your disability check or a check from the government or somebody, or you're independently wealthy. And so you have the time. So some of you really should be earning the pain-free lifestyle faster than others who have so much to juggle. I'm telling you, I give credit for John. I give credit for all of you guys that understand J-Juice and you are juggling everything. And you understand that, yeah, you know, maybe you had to put this job first. Maybe you had to put this first, but you're not coming to me asking me for any kind of remedies. You're not asking the group to anesthetize you. You're not, you know, you're just recognizing that, yeah, you had to put your job where you had to do 80 hours. You got off the J-Juice. Okay, that's fine. And then you got off the J-Juice. Okay, great. Now you're back on it. Okay, great. I have no problem with people doing that. Hey, it happens. Sometimes it's hard to do both. But you're not coming to me and saying, oh, I have this pain. What do you do for this pain? So, yeah, I already know some of you will not survive the next world because you haven't even figured out really what J-Juice is. You like the idea, but I don't think you really truly get it deep down inside. And I think it's kind of sad. As much time as I put into a lot of you, it does fall on deaf ears. But then I realize that that's where people are at. Sometimes people have to fall time and time again. And they might fall at the 11th hour. And at the 11th hour, be like, you know, you got to deal with the pain. And then they die. They're in hospice and they're dead. Well, I told them you have to finally deal with the pain. Oh, but no, this hurts too much. Oh, but this is a priority. That's a priority. I already am aware of the reality for a lot of you. Okay, I already am aware of that. So that's why people can have the intention to heal and live indefinitely, but they won't have what it takes to do the work. So that's the reality, and you have to know that. So if you hear anyone that says, oh yeah, this person passed away, and aren't they on the J-Juice? Oh yeah, they talked a good game. Oh yeah, I'm on the J-Juice. The thing's great. It helped me with my COVID. It did this, it did that. And they're working their ass off in their job. They're smoking all their stuff, taking all their remedies, and it's undermining their process. But oh yeah, they're on the J-Juice. And then they're faced with a major significant event that they don't want to deal with, and so they get more of the chemotherapy or the cannabis or whatever it is they turn to anesthetize themselves. And then guess what? They're even now at more of a deficit. There's no bringing them back because it'd be too painful. They couldn't handle it at this point. You think they're going to handle now being in hospice? No, they'll be taking the morphine. They'll be taking the cannabis. They'll be doing the chemotherapy. They'll be scooping out organs and rationalizing their choices. Oh yeah, I'll just take out this organ, then I'll do the J-Juice. So, you know, it is what it is. But I know a lot of you who say you're doing the J-Juice are not putting it first. Some of you are, but a lot of you aren't. And so, yeah, when people do pass away and they were part of my group, well, remember, people rationalize, people say, talk a good game, but you don't listen to what people say. You look at what they do. Because I'm telling you, people say a lot of cool things. Just look at the politics, religion, and science. Oh, yeah, we want to heal you, want to heal you with antibodies. We want to heal you, we want to heal you, and they're taking out organs. So you don't listen to what people say, you look at what they do. I think this is what they say too, but yeah, but people talk a good game. But when it really comes down to it, the outcome is the actual intention. Their outcome is their intention, no matter how much of a good game they talk up. So you have to understand that is a reality. So watch people in my group, some of you. But I do delete posts. I don't leave them all up because I don't want to turn this into a natural healing group. A rest in peace at the micro level group. No, that's not my group. My group is not trading remedies and herbal dealings. No. If you want to anesthetize yourself, go get a doctor. Nobody gives medical advice. Nobody recommends anti-inflammatory foods. Go see a doctor. All right, bye.